It's crazy what happens when you keep following your dreams. Welcome back, everybody. This is The Night Show. Today's guest is my buddy, Luke Metcalfe, owner of the Imperial Grill located here in downtown Juneau, and recently partnered up in starting the Downtown Disc, a used and new vinyl and record store located in downtown Juneau. In this episode, we talk about being a business owner during the pandemic, the stresses, the successes, the things that can really get to us as we start to get success in our careers, and how mental health and positive and negative masculinity kind of plays into all of that. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Night Show.
All types of shenanigans.
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Pretty good, my man.
Dude, thank you
Finally
for
here.
Yeah, it's taking a minute.
It's exciting, man.
I'm glad you're here, man. For those of you who don't know, I'm sitting across a legend right now.
I don't know if I go that far.
I think you're a legend.
Thank you. I just think I'm Luke.
Well, just Luke, tell folks about yourself who haven't had the pleasure to meet you, brother.
My name's Luke Metcalfe. I was born here in Juneau, Alaska. Pretty much spent my whole life here in Alaska for the most part. I own a little record store that I just started in the last couple months, and also owner of a little restaurant inside of a bar. And that's currently not open, but given the year, I think that's pretty normal for a restaurant.
Impatiently waiting for it to open again.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I am too. It's a lot of ins and outs and what have you. It's been a big learning year as a small business owner. I think everyone has been a huge year just figuring out how to kind of go on with life and make money and, support your loved ones or even see them. So we've been closed for about 2 months, and it's been real tough kind of getting used to that. But it's been kind of a good experience for me. I think opening a small business can be kind of overwhelming for a lot of people. And if I'm honest with myself, I was kind of a little in over my head, and having this break has actually been really insightful, and kind of stepping back and figuring out where I actually want to go forward. Sometimes you just, especially I felt when you kind of get into the role of a small business, sometimes you kind of lose focus on what the ultimate goal is, or where you want to take the brand, or what the next step is. But having this break, I think maybe a couple years ago I would have thought that it would have been horrible, but having the self-reflection and the time, it's been really helpful. I mean, honestly, I don't think I would have had time or made the effort to come over here if I still was running, the restaurant at this time.
No, man, I understand, man. Like, you were busy. You were super busy. Like, I remember just going into the grill and just ordering some food, and it'd be like especially like before all this stuff happened. I mean, there was a line, and then you like reimagined the space, and then made it a little bit more like modern and up to date and accommodating. And I was like, oh shoot, my buddy's playing with the aesthetics, and he's not messing around. Like, I knew you were trying to get it to go to the next step, and I know that probably took a lot of time just doing that, trying to figure that part out.
It did. I mean, for me, it was, honestly, I've never been one to have a lot of self-confidence. So opening this restaurant was a lot of proving to myself that I could do something on my own. And once it kind of happened, once I kind of proved that it could be successful to myself, I think I kind of got caught up in being too involved almost, you know what I mean? Like, it became like my whole world almost there for a while, and you kind of lose the overall perspective. It was busy, and a little bit of success can really kind of go to your head in a bad way. I feel like I'm on a little bit of a redemption arc for myself personally. And, you know, coming here and kind of opening up about it is kind of, I think, part of the process.
Yeah, man. Well, that's why I kind of created this space, man. I mean, one, for, you know, folks to talk about some real stuff, and to have fun, of course. Yeah. And when it comes to like, and we kind of talked about this before we started rolling, like, man, and mental health and all that jazz, like I want to dig into that deep, because that's something that that's the community I'm in, and that's the folks that I have the best tools to assist. And eventually I want to help everybody else, but that's going to take some learning. But you think, like, you know, that competitive nature that men kind of have, like, that kind of played into, I guess, when you did reach success, how did that play into, like, how it manifested your personality changing, or how you were interacting with others, or how you interacted with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see, especially looking back now, it kind of, once I started actually making money, it was something I'd always had a couple jobs, you know, but I never really had made any type of money to where I felt successful. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I got rich, but it was enough money to where I kind of lost sight of who I am. I could see myself making mistakes. I'd make a mistake, and I get angry. And that anger is usually at myself, but I'd express it to my coworker, you know, my employees, and people I love. And, you know, that's a huge mistake. I think a lot of men have issues dealing with their anger or their insecurities. I mean, I think that's a pretty easy statement to make, but yeah. I needed to address mine. And due to some events that I totally caused and feel horrible about, I sought out a therapist, and I've been in therapy for about a year. And, you know, it took me about 7 months of kind of half-heartedly trying to find a therapist. You know, I knew something was wrong, as far as like me not really appreciating myself. And you know how that, I mean, I've listened to a couple of your podcasts recently where you definitely go down that route, where that when you don't love yourself, it expresses itself in many different forms. And yeah, I was finding myself using alcohol way too much and other substances. And you know, once that happens, then it's just kind of like this cycle, or, you know, a circular cycle that you feel bad, so you drink, and then, right, you know, the whole story. Mm-hmm. Well, I've definitely got caught up pretty hard. My restaurant's in a bar, and that's where I met you. I mean, not like, the thing I appreciate about you is I only see you like once every couple months, it seems like. Being in the bar world can kind of take over your whole perspective. And I think I was kind of getting lost there. Going to therapy and kind of realigning what and who I want to be has been an amazing experience. I feel like I was almost dead to the world for quite a few years. I mean, different traumas and experiences. I felt it was really hard to even just cry, you know? Yeah. Let that sadness envelop you. learning how to kind of accept the sadness has been such an eye opener. If you don't accept that sadness, you can't see the happiness. Man, it was getting pretty sad there,
dude. No, I feel that statement a lot, because we're in Juneau. It's a temperate rainforest. It rains all the time. Like, it's not very sunny, especially in the wintertime.
No, sir.
And, emotionally, especially if you're going through a period of, a lull, then it's just like, oh, my environment is matching exactly how I feel. And then the bar's open and that whole thing is there. You can easily just tumble into that and stay in that. And especially when you're already going through some things. Yeah. And I know for me, it's something I've had to check myself on, because I know, like, if I was going through a, rough time, either with my family and their stuff, or, in my relationships past, it was like, all right, sit in the house. You don't go out to that bar, because you already know how that's going to go. And then you're going to drink to the point where you don't get drunk anymore. And then you're just going to be blowing money to try and chase a feeling, or try and not think about the thing that you're dealing with, or
get that camaraderie.
Yeah, or just see some folks and just be around some people that are just kind of in the same, like, headspace. They're like, oh, we're out, we're having a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to kind of rewire my brain in that sense. I mean, a lot of times that was where I found that sense of community or camaraderie, or the socialization is. I've been a bartender for years, and I was in the alcohol world. And now at 37, after 16 legal years, it's like it's really not working out for me anymore in that sense. I'm looking for new ways to socialize, and kind of break out of that habit of going and knowing that there's going to be someone there to at least commiserate with, or someone, like you said, like on the same kind of wavelength. Excuse me. But I like meeting new people, and the bars are easy for that. But
that's it. That's like the double-edged sword of it. I know people are like, oh, you go to the gym and meet folks. It's like, yeah, maybe kind of. Yeah. Like, you can go hiking and meet folks, maybe, like, and find some. And then, like, there's all these community groups you can find on Facebook and this and the other. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a better way to link up and meet people.
Yeah, and then, like, for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's just kind of retraining yourself, or like reopening your mind to the possibility that there's all these different things going on out there, especially in a place like Juneau where there's no road out. You can really kind of, I think, limit your capacity to kind of imagine what's going on in the outside world, because there are no roads out, and it just seems kind of like it's an island universe. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely an island. But it's been, it's going to someone and being able to kind of express these feelings without judgment has been so helpful.
Yeah,
man, like I can't recommend it enough. I had to be pushed into going to therapy, but the introspection that started, and the new possibilities that kind of open up once you kind of get out of that mind trap of self-doubt and hatred.
And it's like we get used to it. Like, and then we start thinking, like, oh, this is my personality now. Like, this is who I am. Because, we get so used to, like, the self-doubt, the hate, the narrative that we keep telling ourselves. And then as soon as you get to a breaking point, it's either you keep destroying yourself or you decide to create yourself. And it just kind of like goes, like, you don't really have too many options, because you can't just stay stagnant. And it's kind of like, what I was saying about the weather, man. It's like once you decide to kind of make better decisions, better choices for your own life, kind of take command, get behind the wheel and actually be like, all right, life's not going to happen to me. Things are not going to just come at me anymore. Like I'm going to choose my path, like it's Oregon Trail or some shit, like it's D&D.
Dysentery can't stop me.
Yeah, right? Then it's like, all right, cool. And then you start appreciating, it doesn't have to be 70 and sunny in order for you to like kind of get out of the house and go meet people. It doesn't have to be, a clear day and the trail's clear. Maybe you want it to be -2 and it's crappy out. And you're like, you know what?
No,
even in all this, there's some beauty in this.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I mean, I was walking down the dock yesterday and I feel like once you kind of open yourself up to kind of having a more like open or positive outlook, it becomes kind of part of your aura. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, for instance, 3 different people I never met before was walking down the street, smiled at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yesterday, I was smiling too. You know what I mean? Like, I might not have been like smiling outwardly, but I was just in like a very positive, open headspace, and people kept coming that I loved and visiting me, and it felt like serendipitous, like the world was just working out.
Yeah.
And I notice when I have this horrible outlook or this negativity kind of looming over me, which can be very easy with the dark clouds or the rain, you don't notice those smiles, or maybe they aren't even there. You know what I mean? You might not know what the smile's about, but man, it made me feel pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that little bit of positivity 3 different times kind of grounded me and brought me back to a place of like gratitude. I feel people that know me would probably say this. Yeah. I've had a pretty negative outlook, or maybe a pessimistic attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing
just
wrong.
Like recently, or just
in general.
Yeah.
I don't think pessimistic is necessarily bad, but negativity definitely is. Pessimistic to me just kind of seems like just asking questions. And people that ask questions seem to get a lot of answers, Yeah. I just think I'm just trying to get on a path of more self-discovery and learning again. I've been on my own self-discovering path of like trying to prove something to myself. Mm-hmm. Now that I've gotten there, I need to turn it outward. I don't even think I've gotten there, but I mean, like, I'm looking for something else to give back, to do anything bigger than myself, I guess, right now. I think at my age, you'd probably call that a midlife crisis, but it's not like the trope where I'm gonna go buy a Miata or something. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna go buy some crazy motorcycle and go buy a Harley and
no, I want to live.
Get a 21-year-old girlfriend.
Oh no, God.
Please don't.
No, sir.
No, God, I might have to write a letter. It's like, dear Luke, what's going on with you, man?
No, if anything, someone older than me. No, I think if one thing I could speak on that is I think people's age, we can definitely, write people off because of their age. Mm. But recently I've been trying to not have that, like that, oh, they're young, that judgmental kind of attitude. And, I've learned a couple things from a couple 24-year-olds in the last couple weeks, or at least thought about things differently. And so ageism, I think, definitely is a thing.
Yeah. 100%.
But maturity is also a thing,
Right. No, and that's the thing.
life experience.
100%. I mean, because with youth kind of comes this ability to kind of look at a situation with a little more fresh perspective, and without the jadedness of time and experience and trauma and all that stuff. Sometimes, like, maybe it's the youth that come into a situation that have like, oh, would you think about it this way? And you're like, no, I've literally been banging my head.
yeah. And I think that's a big thing to consider, is to not write people off just because they're younger. I'm definitely guilty of it. And,
there's some 60-year-olds online that are writing me off because they don't understand what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, I mean, opening the record store, man, it's been eye-opening. I mean, just with music, it's so easy to judge people on what they listen to, or at least it has been in the past. And, man, to see these, I mean, the record sales have gone through the roof in the last couple of years, like LPs, old school records. And it's driven by people under 20, which is kind of blew me away.
Yeah.
Because, there's 13, 14, 15-year-old kids coming in the record store looking for, Thelonious Monk, or like ABBA, or like,
oh, shoot.
Stuff that like is 3 times as old as they are.
Yeah.
But they're seeking it out. And of course, the first couple times I was just kind of blown away. Like, how do you know about this? Or, why are you interested in this? But the more you kind of think about it, it's like, what do you know? I mean, it's music, and if it touches someone, sell it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's real. Yeah, that's real. Shoot.
And I've been blown away by the different stuff that people are into. But in that same, in that same frame of mind, it's fun to open your mind. Every day I get to go through the records and like pick out something I never listened to before. And that's been a really good experience for me lately. Kind of gaining new perspective through music and culture and the kids.
Yeah. Dude, like, what made you start this record store, man? Because I know, like, you had the bike shop for a minute, and then
the bike shop was so I rented a space this summer, and I was kind of planning on buying used bikes and selling them and rebuying them, because we get a lot of tourist people, people that move here and need a transportation for the summer.
Right.
So it was kind of be like a bicycle recycling service. But with the pandemic, we didn't really get that many tourists, and I ended up keeping all the bikes. So
got a win.
I got a collection. I've always been into bicycles, but having my own workshop has always been a dream of mine. So I rented a workshop, and it wasn't really working out as far as a bicycle shop. And my friend approached me. He had bought a bunch of records off people, and we had worked together for a long time. I had the space, he had the records, and we both love music. I mean, I did a radio show for about 10 years on the local public radio station. So, like, the idea of owning a record store is very, it sounded rad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it kind of makes sense. Like, that's an easy segue to make if you're already in radio.
Oh, yeah. Or just, if you like, enjoy music. Man. So the space worked out perfect. And it's just been kind of rolling. Me and him are partners, and it's pretty low key, but it's really been nice change from the restaurant life, which is, 17 hours a day sometimes. To
hectic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's been really good for me. It's been a really healthy change, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And when I'm planning on reopening the restaurant, but it's gonna, I'm gonna have to make some big changes.
Yeah. I can definitely see you coming at it with this break and everything, like with fresh eyes, new perspective, and then probably a different way you want to do business altogether.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole idea behind that business was give Juneau kind of like the fast food that they've been missing, pay my employees well, and have low cost quality food. Yeah. And I think, I proved that success, that model can be successful here. And I was, working in different restaurants in the past. It was nice to be able to kind of change that whole idea of where you can pay your employees really well, and still make money.
It's always confused me, man, like the argument behind it when I'll see a company say, or whatever, people are online, they'll say like, if I start paying people, the new number is $15 an hour, right? If I start paying people $15 an hour, then I have to inflate all costs around the board, and then some joker on the internet was just like, you want to pay $12 for a small fry? Like, that seems like a gross
yeah, I mean, that's
oversimplification.
Very much so. I think so, yeah. I mean, there's always different areas that you can save money. And it doesn't have to be your employees' pay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
the cost might have gone up. I think that charging a little bit more for food and people being able to live decently, is overall win-win for everyone. If anything, I mean, I'm not economic major economist. I couldn't argue that, paying people more money might lead to inflation, but I'm not sure, right? All I know is that in the restaurant world, there's always an angle. You can make things more efficient. You can, buy things that are already cut up. There's always something where you can save a couple dollars. But having people that get paid well and want to be there, the product is going to come out, is going to be better.
100%.
People are going to be happier with the product and they're going to come back. And so I think it's kind of like getting out of this complete capitalist idea where we have to take care of one another. That's what the economy is. And adding, a little bit of this socialist flavor isn't the worst thing ever. I can afford to pay my employees the 3 months we've been closed, but the government should be. You know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be a reckoning here. I mean, a lot of people are. I mean, I lost a lot of money last year trying to stay open, and I was luckily able to pay my rent, but some people weren't.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants that I love across the U.S. that are no longer open right now. Places in Guam that had to shut down, places in Long Beach, places here, places back home in Maryland, just places back in Alabama, just they're gone now.
Yeah, I don't think,
and they may or may not be able to come back.
Exactly. If I didn't get a disaster loan, I wouldn't be able to been in business this year. But now I'm on the hook. Basically, I didn't go to college, but now I have I have to pay back a college debt. You know what I mean?
Welcome.
I'm here. Now I know. I was thinking about that last night because I just got the reminder that the first bill's due here, June or something. But that's kind of what it reminded me of. So I feel your pain.
Thankfully, I don't have that much because I was able to get a scholarship. But now that I'm back in school, I'm paying basically out of pocket. I'm paying out of pocket for that. So, it is what it is.
And Are you going to school here?
I was going to school online. The Full Sail University. It's basically just learning how to do all of this stuff. You know, I've 2017 I started a podcast just because it was like I was 28 and I was in my dark hole and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Like I love being in the military. I love the Coast Guard, but it was just like it just seemed like there was something else that needed to define me more than this organization that with or without me is going to still
right.
It needs to. So I was like, all right, well, what do you want to do the rest of your life? I'm like, all right, well, kind of like what do you do when you're not at work? Like podcasts, documentaries, all this stuff, just inhaling it, traveling. Like, all right, well, figure out how to do both of those. And then like, all right, if I start a podcast and find guests all over the world, then maybe I can travel there and eventually start doing documentaries and this and the other. And then my buddy started going to college again. And he was like, oh, you should check out the school. So I was like, all right, check out the program, saw some people who graduated from it and like talked to some people online. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And then applied, got in. And
where's it based out of?
Florida. Yeah.
And it's for like sound cinematography.
Yeah, so digital cinematography. And I mean, basically like they give you like a project and we just like work it down for a couple of months and we just expand on. It's like, all right, putting the special effects in the, you know, Adobe Premiere, clean up the audio and Audition, right. Learn how to, you know, do some type of transitions and, you know, fades, how to write a script, the lighting, like right now I'm like in lighting class. So just learning how to mess around with some stuff and I'm realizing like, oh yeah, look. Yeah. Luke's got the angles, y'all. Luke's got the angles.
He got an A+.
Dude. But yeah, man, I mean, that's kind of like where I'm at. I feel kind of lucky, kind of blessed to kind of know what I want to do now. Like when I see like you running your shop or, you know, either it be the grill or running the disc store, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, man, selling these vinyls. And he's got a dope restaurant, which I love to go to.
Thanks, man.
It was awesome. I miss it.
We'll be back.
Right. And hell yeah. Yeah, I get inspiration from that. And I'm like, it's like, he's stressed out, but he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's a compliment. I guess, you know, when you have a business, I mean, at a certain point, some people are going to look up to you. I got to remember that because I don't want to lead people down the wrong, you know, lead people astray or anything along those lines. Honestly, you know, like the restaurant was more about proving to myself than anything. Yeah. More than I wanted to do it. And that's kind of what I'm reckoning with now. There's people that like the restaurant is like, that's what they've been wanting to do their entire life. And for me, it was more of an opportunity, but I have to, you know, I'm respectful of the people that is their passion. I'm not just trying to make money. It was more of like I was touching on earlier, prove to myself and to some other people that, you know, we can change how we run businesses and treat people in those businesses. I've definitely been guilty of not treating people very well in the past. And, you know, we can change ourselves. Yeah. If we try hard enough.
That's the expedition of the soul. We can choose to grow and be different. And that's like now, it's kind of off topic. You know, you see a lot of people get canceled left and right sometimes, and it's just like, will you give them a chance? Will they be afforded the opportunity to like grow and change as a person and be completely different? Especially like people doing dumb stuff when they're in their youth. Or there's people who grow up in certain neighborhoods or grow up in certain ideologies. Like I think about like Malcolm X being a pimp and addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
In his early 20s. And then like
the juxtaposition between that.
Juxtaposition from like who he was then in his early 20s to like who he was later on in his life before he dies. Like those are two different people, but they're the same person.
Well, do you think he would have gotten to where he got without being a pimp?
Maybe not.
You know what I mean?
You know, that's a hard conversation to have.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Do you have the perspective to know what sin, evil is, to know what it means to like really abuse women?
You're capable of.
Yeah, exactly. And then know, like, I mean, for some people it's like, oh, it's completely obvious. I'm like, yeah, but like, it's so obvious that why would you ever? I'm like, you're still kind of projecting your sense of morality onto somebody else, not knowing any part of their story.
Yeah, and I feel like when you do project your morality, you're forgetting all those times where maybe you didn't have it yet, or you didn't fully flesh it out, your morality. You know what I mean?
You know, like when you were short.
Oh yeah, I made a lot of dumb mistakes. Short,
it's like, you know, there's a lot of that, and people, you know, they like to walk around with this moral elitism. Like, oh, I've never done X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other. I'm like, all right, you're not the sinner by your standards, by your metrics, but somebody else is shaming you, like Game of Thrones, throwing cabbage at you. Oh my god!
I'm sure the laundry list is long for me, but what I've been really been watching a lot lately on YouTube is the Soft White Underbelly. Which is a series where this man interviews people mostly on Skid Row in LA, but he's been all over the country, you know, like very economically depressed areas, and he interviews people. And I think, you know, for the most part, some of these people have like the most interesting, crazy, messed up lives. And they might be living in a tent. I mean, this is it helps me to watch these videos of people that you might just write off immediately because you read he's a crackhead that lives in a tent, right?
Right.
On the description of the video. But these people have so much to say and so much insight into humanity, and you know, to write them off and their experiences off is such a mistake. I've been watching those almost every day. Just it gives me a lot of perspective, and how good I do have it especially when I'm feeling like the world's against me.
Yeah.
Watching someone who the world has been against, and hearing their stories and not judging what got them there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm to that point yet by any means. I'm still judgmental piece of shit sometimes.
You know we all come up short just a little bit from time to time. Allowed to come up a little short here and there.
Yeah. But these last couple months have been really, really good for me to ground myself and kind of like awaken almost to like, I mean, I've never been a religious person, but kind of recognizing that we all have some type of spirituality, even if we don't call it the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why I've been listening to your podcast. I've been
hey man,
gaining some good insights.
I appreciate that, dude. I do. I appreciate that a lot. And just thinking about what you were saying, man, like it reminds me, like, my mom used to always, I grew up in a really religious family. Like my mom's a pastor. My dad's dad is a reverend, and like both of my grandmas have been nurses and worked in churches and this all that stuff. And I was in the band at my grandma's church when I was a kid, just playing the piano. But my mom used to say, like, you know, you see like folks on the street and people used to just step on them and the other. And my mom always she would quote this verse, and she said, "There, but for the grace of God go I." And it was always like, that could be me. Like, I don't know what this person's gone through. Like that literally could be me right now. So if I'm sitting here, stepping over this person, talk down about this person, like I don't know their life story. Like who knows? Like who knows what could have happened? They could have literally lost it all. They could have lost the wife, the husband, their kids, in a tragic accident, or it's their fault that it happened, or they lost their house because their job sent their job overseas, and then
they broke their leg and got addicted to painkillers. Now they're doing heroin. I mean,
it's like it's a slippery slope, man. We never know what people are going through, so it's like I'm judgmental often, but then there's points where I have to just kind of like, all right, let me catch myself. Let me shut up. Let me shut up real quick.
That's the key, though.
Yeah, it's like then it's like, hey,
buddy. Having that other voice there, right? That says, hey, dickhead, calm down a minute.
Let's take a step. Take a beat.
Take a big breath. But yeah, I didn't grow up with religion in my life. I think my father was in Catholic school growing up.
Yeah.
And he had some misgivings, I guess you could say, about that.
Yeah.
But now, I've learned, speaking of judging, growing up that way, I think I learned to judge people that are religious and that go to church like it's crazy or something. And looking at it now, I don't think it's crazy at all. I mean, it's like the same type of thing you're looking for when you go to the bar. You know what I mean? It's being around other like-minded people and talking about good things.
Yeah.
And morality and thinking about yourself in that positive light. And, now that I think about it, I mean, I think you can obviously take it too far, but
same thing with drinking.
Yeah, exactly. and so, I've just been on the opposite end of that, I think my entire life, and kind of allowing that idea in is good. It's exciting, and it challenges me a lot internally when I'm hearing people talk about religion or spirituality. It made me realize that I do have it, and I need to figure out what the hell it is. You know what I mean?
Dang, it's gonna be like the best project of your life. You, Luke. This is the longest experiment you'll ever be involved in yourself.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, dog.
Thank you.
You're doing good.
It's been a roller coaster.
Dog, yeah, right? You ain't lying.
Nah, but I mean, I'm not going to say like I wasn't nervous coming here, but that's good, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm nervous before every show I do, honestly.
No.
Like, I'm nervous for every show I do. I'm always worried about the technical side, but it's like, I'm like, oh, the camera, the lights, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, the issue is like, how are people receiving me? Because I want them to know that, like,
that's what I'm nervous about.
This shit. Like, I'm really trying to be out here and being like a agent for like good, because I used to be an agent for chaos. Now I want to be an agent for good. and I'm gonna slip up. I'm allowed to be human. I'm not going to besmirch anybody. I'm not going to like dog anybody on my platform. I might have some ideas that are that might come off radical to some people. I might have some ideas that might seem too progressive, or maybe too conservative for some folks.
Yeah,
but like, I'm still just I don't mean no harm. I don't take no shit, and I want you. If we don't agree, I would want folks to come onto the show.
Yeah,
that's even more potential for like growth. It tests me in my beliefs and my understanding of how I perceive the world, and it would do the same for them, I would hope.
I think it does. I mean, with the diversity of guests that you have on, I just noticed in the last couple of days, I've been going through your back catalog. You have you're going out of your way to find all sorts of different people from, it seems like all across the country.
Yeah.
From what I can tell. I mean, I listened to one the gal from Chicago.
Oh yeah, the old Dr. Frazier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a full on doctor now.
That's awesome. You know what I mean? And it's part of that nervousness is like, I'm coming on this podcast and you're interviewing people that have PhDs. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what's the funniest part about like, people like, oh yeah, Dr. Frazier, or like, oh, your friend Katrina, or this that, and the other. I'm like, Chelsea and I met on Black Planet talking about Boondocks as kids, and like the Chappelle Show, like is like 14, like 16, like it's like 16-year-olds. Like we've known each other since high school.
So you don't think of her as like necessarily like.
Yeah, like I have that. It's like, oh yeah, she's a full doctor, and she is like about her shit, and she's a professional, but she's also my friend I've known since high school.
Yeah.
And same thing with like Katrina. It's like, you know, we've known each other since we were kids, and now she owns her own company and she's fucking kicking ass, and I'm super proud of her. And I'm like, cool. And then my buddy Haru, who's making all types of music and doing all types of like awesome stuff. The Crime Wave guys.
Beach.
Yep.
I listened to that one too.
Yep. Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, he sounded like he had all sorts of cool things going on.
Dude, yeah, that guy's, yeah, he's solid, man. But I mean, like, you know, I don't know who you're gonna be in 8 years, 10 years. Like, you could own an entire condo complex in Juneau in that time. You could shift your mindset to be like, oh, it's like, yeah, man, Luke's got into real estate, and then he started getting into commercial real estate and but he still has a restaurant, and now it's just like gourmet style burgers, and he still does everything else he's doing. He has like DJs come through, and he's got like his own like bar restaurant type setup. Like, I don't know, man. Things could change. And then people were like, oh, you're hanging out with him. Like, hey, man, I know Luke.
I've known Steve for years. That guy that's got 4 million YouTube subs. Yeah, I know Steve. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, like, matter of fact, let me call him right now. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I need to get on there. No, I mean, I guess that comes back to that kind of like self-doubt, or that, you know, that the nervousness of I'm not going to be, you know, have people are going to receive my perspective as well, or something, you know, along those things. Yeah. I mean, I used to do the radio show and I would get nervous. I did it for 10 years every week, and I would get nervous every time. And then sometimes, you know, you screw up and your voice cracks, and then you get more embarrassed. But, you know, that's all part of the process. Yeah. And I still went back, you know, after I embarrassed myself, and do it again. But this kind of reminds me of that. I had that, you know, getting back into that kind of creative spirit and making something, or expressing your opinions and putting yourself out there is definitely scary, but I can't go back to the way of I was, where just holding it all in, or you know, being so just lost in myself. I'm excited to, you know, find some new projects and do some new things. Get out of this kind of mental block I'd put myself in. Yeah.
No, I would love to like try and get some folks together responsibly with, you know, everything going on, and you know, kind of workshop some ideas for you know, creating something, doing an event.
Yeah, I heard Dana was thinking about doing Fashion Week here. Yeah in May.
That could work.
Yeah, if people are, you know, going out and vaccinated and whatnot. Still a couple months away, but she approached us at the record store doing something. Okay. So I don't know. I'll keep you in the loop on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely let me know, man. I'm definitely down to keep creating. You know, this is one aspect of what I'm doing, but, you know, I want to do some more video production stuff and do more like event promotions and event hosting and all that stuff. I got a bunch, like all these speakers, event speakers, just these jokers around here, man. I'm with it.
They got the preamps and everything ready to go.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
Plug it in. I'm ready. Well, that's exciting. See, like, I just got the little goosebump thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Goosey bumps.
Yeah, that's my favorite. The goose flesh. No, but I'm glad I came here because it does open up possibilities.
Yeah, 100%, man. Hey, tell folks more about the shop, man. Tell them more about the what you got.
All right,
what folks can expect.
So we opened a little used record store down. It's in the Emporium Mall in Juneau. It's Downtown Disc on Instagram. We have it's a little bit hard to find, but we have the directions on Instagram or Facebook at Downtown Disc is the name. We have a whole bunch of used vinyl, and now we've gotten into selling brand new stuff. So we can do special orders. And if you're looking for something used, we can also find it for you. We're selling stuff online under Discogs. It's an app, but you can find like everything, pretty much everything that we put up there. You can order if you don't live in Juneau. But we're open 1 to 6 Tuesday through Sunday, and it'd be cool if you come down, checked it out. It's been an awesome experience for me.
Dude, it's just a dope spot to just kind of come and hang out. And
we got a pinball machine.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it. Yeah. I saw David in there. He was just like,
yeah, I saw he was on here. He's got the high score in the day.
Well, he's a pinball champion.
Yeah. 440 million in the first day.
Oh my God.
I get on there, I score like 4-5 million. This dude just walks in. He's like, oh, you got a pinball machine?
It's like, watch me work.
Yeah.
You gonna get this work.
Now he's like, anyone piece it? I'll give him $20.
Go get this work.
Dude. So, we're just trying to make it a chill place to come hang out.
Nice, man.
Spend time. I mean, the idea is to come look through records, just looking through all that old artwork and reading the backs. You can learn something just looking through the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, it's just every record's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
And I always kind of imagine where they came from, or they got a signature on them from someone's collection. Mm-hmm. That it's like a little living piece of history. And that's probably kind of what I enjoy the most. Almost like touching history.
Yeah. You don't get the same feeling just doing a digital download. It's just not there. Like, it's in your phone and you have it, and then it follows you throughout whatever phone you have. But at the same time, it's nothing like having a vinyl and like some good speakers and a turntable that's pretty decent.
Oh man, yeah. It's give me the goosebumps again. Just thinking about it.
Hey man, thanks for deciding to come in. I know we've been trying to do this for like a minute. Yeah. But I think this is perfect.
Yeah,
I think
it worked out great.
Yeah, it turned out awesome, man. I'm glad. Like,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Like, I've been wanting to do a show with you for a while, so yeah.
Well, let's do some other stuff.
I'm with it. You got me. I'm hooked.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. All right. Till next time, y'all.